it's important to acknowledge that for each of us, our life will come to an end.
Yes.
And for me, what has been very therapeutic, very comforting, is acknowledging that at some point I'm going to die, which happens to everybody, and minimizing the impact that that's going to have on other people. For example, on my refrigerator, there is a list of people to be contacted when I die. Friends from university, friends from high school, various people that I've met around the world and so on. So my family will know who to contact. Of course, my will is made out. And so all of that is in place, which has the wonderful effect of removing any cloud from your mind about what might happen to you.
Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining the Life Research Institute, an institute that promotes healthy living and healthy aging across the lifespan. I am so honored today that we are joined by Dr. Victor Emerson, a renowned researcher and an individual that has been successful in his career, whether it be in academia or in industry. And it is truly an honor to have you here today with us to talk to us about a topic that is not easy to talk about, the topic of death and how we prepare towards it and how we address it, how we see it, how we talk about it with our family. It is a stage of life that is inevitable, but it's not one that we necessarily feel ready to think about. I'm wondering, at what stage in your life do you think you became comfortable addressing it and talking about it?
That is a great question, actually, because I suspect it's a question that everybody is going to face. For me, the answer is as clear as day. I have had several bouts of skin cancer. They've all been basal or squamous. They're not fatal illnesses. But about 20 years ago, I got in to see my dermatologist after a few months because I had something going on with one of my thumbnails. And I pointed it out to my dermatologist, and he said, oh yeah, it's probably a glomus tumor, which is harmless, and it hurts when you squeeze it, right? And I said, no, it doesn't hurt at all. And his whole demeanor changed, and he said, can I squeeze it? And I said, of course. And so he squeezed my thumbnail, and he said, that doesn't hurt? And I said, no. And he said, well, we have to get you in for a biopsy. That may be an amelanotic melanoma, and if it is, you need to go home and get your affairs in order. It turned out, after finding out after 2 weeks, it was nothing. It was at that point that I thought, I really need to start planning, because who knows? And none of us ever knows how much time we've got left. It was a stark reminder that you know, there is going to be an end at some point.
When we think about death, I think we fear death not for ourselves necessarily, but often for the people we leave behind. But now seeing that you have it all planned and organized, and it's so wise, but it's also difficult, right? Because then you have to go through those thoughts of leaving your loved ones. And
as an older person, I still have trouble thinking of myself as an older person, ironically, but clearly I am. I have this sense of freedom that I have never really experienced before because, you know, I had to earn money to support my family. My kids were growing up, and you know, there were all the activities that go on when children are developing and so on. And in a sense, I'm relieved of most of those responsibilities, which is very comforting.
Thank you so much, Dr. Emerson, for taking the time to talk to us about such a difficult topic, one that's not easy for us to come to terms with, but also to communicate, talk about it with our loved ones. So this was really inspiring and extremely helpful. So thank you for this.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you, dear audience, for joining us. If you found this capsule interesting and helpful to you, please don't hesitate to like, share, and follow us so that you can be notified every time we post a new capsule.